Shalom. I'm coming to you with another video. Today I want to talk about a tiny element of the Day of Atonement. So we have Leviticus 16 here. I'm going to go down to verse 6 when they talk about the atonement. Part of it is the scapegoat and the offering that is going to be a sin offering. So read 6 through 10 here, and then we'll go and take a closer look at it. Aaron shall offer the bull as a sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his house. He shall take 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the doors of the tabernacle of meeting. Then Aaron shall cast lots for the 2 goats, one lot for the Lord, and the other lot for the scapegoat. And Aaron shall bring the goat on which the Lord's lot fell, and offer it as a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell to be the scapegoat shall be presented alive before the Lord to make atonement upon it, and to let it go as the scapegoat into the wilderness. Okay, so they have 2 offerings here. One is going to be the perfect offering, the one that Aaron is going to do in that offer as a sin offering. And the other one, all the sins of Israel are going to be put upon it, and then it's going to be let out into the wilderness. Okay? And so what I wanted to do is look at this verse about the scapegoat. And if you'll notice, a lot of these translated as scapegoat, and a lot of them translated as Azazel. So if you wonder where the word Azazel comes from, it's because these versions did not translate this from the Hebrew. They just left it as it was, Azazel. You can see that if you look in the interlinear, because the word for scapegoat here is Azazel. And there's no definition here except that it's the scapegoat. It comes from an unused word, so we don't have an origin to go by. And it means entire removal, and it's only used 4 times, and all 4 times it's used about the atonement offering, okay? And then down here, if you'll notice, a lot of times they give you a little more information, and it says Leviticus 16:26, in ritual of Day of Atonement, entire removal of sin and guilt from sacred places into desert on back of goat, symbol of entire forgiveness, okay? So all the sin is placed on Azazel. Now, where did this concept come from? Now, we today don't really know anything about Azazel unless we read any of the ancient writings, but one thing about the Israelites is that they knew old stories that we have not had for a long time. Some of them are starting to come to light, and I'm going to share that. So what they believed was based on something that you can find in the Book of Enoch. Now, whether you think the Book of Enoch is a trustworthy source or not, I am going to show you how, at least what they thought about this. So here, chapter 8 of Enoch, you've got Azazel. Now, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, and shields and breastplates, and he made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, bracelets, ornaments, and the use of antimony. Antimony is a kind of metal, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in their ways. And then it goes on to talk about another fallen angel. Azazel is considered a fallen angel in this book of Enoch. And so he taught them all these things. So from his teachings, they got war and things like that because of the swords, the knives, the shields, the breastplates, how to use the metals of the earth and working them. So the angels, the good angels, I guess you'd say, the archangels, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, they come to God and they say that that the Lord sees all things, and nothing can hide itself from him. And he sees what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness in the earth, and revealed the eternal secrets which are preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. So Azazel is basically given secrets that they knew in heaven to the humans to do all these terrible things. God didn't want them doing all these things, and that's why they were secrets. But Azazel decides to tell everybody how to do these things. So they basically ask him, you haven't told us what to do about it, so what should we do? So the Lord Most High speaks, and he tells Uriel to tell the son of Lamech to go to Noah and tell him, in my name hide thyself, and reveal him to the end that is approaching. The whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and he will destroy all that is in it. And he says, so he tells him to tell Noah that the flood is coming. And he says, and again the Lord said to Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert, which is in Dudael, and cast him therein. And then he goes down here to say, and the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin. So they believed that all sin was ascribed to Azazel. So that makes sense why they send out the scapegoat onto Azazel into the desert, which is where he was supposed to go, in the desert. So this is kind of like Jewish mythology. Like I said, you can either take the Book of Enoch as truth or not. It doesn't matter. What we do know is that this is what what they believed, and so that's why the sin was on there. Now, I thought it is interesting. I'm going to show you something else that I found interesting while I was studying this, is that the Baphomet character, which is a satanic symbolism or occult symbolism, just happens to have a goat head here, which I thought was interesting. But when you come down here, one of the things it said was that this depiction made by this guy, Eliphas Levi, or Eliphas, I don't know how to say his name. It says, the beast's head expresses the horror of the sinner whose materially acting, solely responsible part has to bear the punishment exclusively, because the soul is insensitive according to its nature and can only suffer when it materializes. So even in the occult symbolism, they realize that this head of the goat expresses the horror of the sinner. So anyway, I hope you learned something here today. I tend to study these kind of unusual things sometimes. When I get to a place in the Bible where I'm like, what does that mean? I will go and study it out, and that's how I gain a lot of knowledge on things. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I will be back with another video in a few days. Shalom.